Hello and welcome to the Huddersfield Town Preview Show live from Canalside. I'm pleased this morning to be joined by Lewis O'Brien and Harry Toffolo. How are you both doing this morning?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Not really. We're off to a rough start already this morning. I've turned up late and Lewis now telling everyone at the football club.
You've got to be on time, and if you're not, fines are fines out there.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right, I'm just walking while we're doing this.
We're off to a good start. My first question was going to be what the mood was like, but clearly you guys are happy enough and sort of heads in the right place for the game tomorrow.
Toffs is maybe not. Now he's been fined before the game. It's obviously hard to get your head around it, but no, we're all in a good place, and we're all looking forward to the game tomorrow. Yeah.
Lads are in a good place. I think it was really frustrating against West Brom. I thought we were excellent up to until the penalty, which a dubious decision was given, and we were in a very good place at that point. And to concede another, thought Andy Carroll came on and changed the game completely, clearing one off the line from Tino as well. So it's frustrating, but we want to keep the momentum going. We're still unbeaten, so that's the focus.
Yeah, we'll get on to West Brom in a minute, but I think one of the things that the lads, every time they come on one of our shows or in the presser, they talk about how good the mood around the place is. And you two are obviously standard bearers for that with your relationship. With the fine system and everything like that, without going into too much detail, how does that work? Is that just there to make sure that standards are set and that, no lads are slipping, or is it a bit of banter? How does that work?
No, I mean, it's definitely for standards. If people are late and the standards are dropping, it's obviously going to lead onto the pitch as well. But it is there for a bit of banter as well to help the lads along. But yeah, definitely for the standards.
Yeah, and we've got every Friday we do a sort of we've got a wheel that you spin. So the lads that have obviously been fined throughout the week, Sorba Thomas being one that is the biggest contributor.
He's got a direct debit, so
he does have a direct debit. But no, it's good. It creates the atmosphere going out onto the pitch. You do it around sort of 10 o'clock just before you go out on the training pitch, and it does, doesn't it, create a good vibe?
Lifts the mood for everything and gets you through the training session, definitely.
What's it been like for that atmosphere in the group then? Because we've had the new lads speak on it, what it's been like to come into a club where there's that feeling, but you boys will have experienced it from seasons previous building into this. How much different is it, the group this year and that togetherness this year? Is that one of the main reasons why we are doing so well, is that this group of lads are pulling together in the same direction?
Yeah, I think it's the main reason the football club's driving forward as quick as it is. Obviously down to the management team as well, being fantastic with the players and their knowledge of the games is impeccable. It's the dressing room that is, I've never seen one like it. One that's so together, like just going out with the couples, everyone gets on, the families get on.
And it's not even just the players either; it's the staff as well. I mean, you can see after when we win games that we're all together in it. We're all happy about the results, and even in and around the change room, it's not just the players; it's the staff get involved in everything as well. So it's just a great atmosphere and a great environment to be in.
Lou, one of the things I remember you saying after a game earlier on this season, I can't remember which one it was, perhaps Barnsley away or something. You said that having the fans back you, regardless of the result, and having that togetherness was something that you lads were really wanting to have, and that seems to be the case now. We seem to have that relationship back between the fans in the stands and the lads on the pitch, and even the staff. Is that something that's pleasing for you, especially? Because I know it's something that not bothered you, but it's something you wanted to have back at the club.
Yeah, I mean, obviously when Huddersfield got promoted, it was a massive thing about having the fans there and everyone being this one united club. And obviously last season it was hard without the fans, and then they came back and it was kind of an unknown for everyone again. And it's nice to have the fans back how they were and how they used to be, and everyone is all one as a club at the moment. So it's just a great feeling.
What about for you, Toffs? Because obviously it's different for you. You had them there for a short period of time, and then they weren't there for the majority. You've always had a good connection with them just through your own personality, but seeing that now at the games, is that something that's lifting for you as well?
I think when you've got people like myself and other players in the team that are active on social media, you get to see get that vibe with the fans. But the players that don't really have social media, and fair enough, they don't want to get into that sort of stuff. They live a more private life. It gives the fans the opportunity to see them. So, for example, I put a Matty Pearson. He's not one that's going to be posting a lot on social media, but it's something that the fans probably feel really connected to Matty and how he's one of them, and he's a real Yorkshire lad. Mush, you say up here, don't you? No, it's one of them where the players that don't really have social media, it gives them the opportunity to the fans to see them. With now, obviously, all this stuff we do with you guys is important for the fans to be able to have that interaction with the players.
Yeah, I think that's a really nice point, because there isn't anybody in the squad who feels left out. It seems quite, as a united front, everyone seems to be as supported and well liked as the next man, which is really nice. If we go back, and you touched on it earlier, Toffs, the West Brom game, do you think a result like that, where it went against us for perhaps reasons, as you touched on, that were outside of our power, if there weren't that togetherness and there weren't that good feeling around the place, that sort of result has a potential to put you on a bit of a downer, and that doesn't seem to be the case. We seem to, if anything, that'll be a bit extra fuel going into the next couple of days to prove that right.
Yeah, definitely. I think we can't get down. We're third in the league, something that even as players we were pushing. We started as division. We were talking about playoffs from the start, and something that we probably got doubted from the very start, but we did when we were going through objectives for the season. And we're now showing that we had the ability and the togetherness in the group to do that. And at the end of the day, there's a bit of perspective as well. We're third in the league. Yes, we completely dominate a West Brom side for 83 minutes until a decision's made. And then we had a sort of a little wobble for 5-6 minutes as expected. You're suddenly now playing in front of, feel like you're playing against 20,011 people instead of 11. But then we created a chance at the end. We got ourselves back into it. So I think there's loads of positives, not just in the West Brom game, but throughout the whole season that we can touch on. We've had disappointing moments throughout the season where we've lost games or we've drawn games that we shouldn't have done, and we bounced back. So we're looking forward to a Millwall game where it's going to be an extremely competitive game. And then with the cherry on top on Saturday. Look at that. The cherry on top on Saturday. Nailed it.
Right.
Yeah.
We've peaked. That's it, we're done.
Oh, that was good.
Nobody's even set him up for that either. That's the best part. Lou, we've talked about having such a big week and then the international break as well. Are you lads just, when you're having the meetings and when you're talking to the gaffer and even between yourselves, is the focus solely on getting as much possible out of these next two games and giving it your all? Because it's been such an intense period. There's been so many games to play. You lads must be, dead on your feet, even though your running stats are still probably going to be absurd for the next two games. Is it all about just pouring as much as we can into these next two?
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about doing it game by game, and obviously we look at the focus of getting the maximum points out of every game. It doesn't matter what opposition we're playing. If they're bottom of the league, top of the league, it doesn't matter. We focus every game the same. Put our 100% into it, even if that maybe only be our 80%. We have to put as much as we can into it. But with the international break coming up, I mean, it probably is one of the times for us all to empty our tanks as much as we can, because we do have that period of rest before we go again into the latter stages of the season.
So something I wanted to ask you about. I wanted to ask you about Lewis. It's something that I'm probably as guilty of as anyone, and that's taking him a little bit for granted, because he comes out every week, he runs his blood to water, and he's 8, 9 out of 10, if not 10 out of 10 more weeks than he's not. And it's one of those where even with the team, we do like the man of the matches after the game and what have you, and there'll be somebody who's stuck out and, we'll be like, oh, we'll put him in that. And there's occasions where we're just like, actually, let's put Lewis in there because he's been brilliant again. And we've taken that for granted and we've almost expected him to be brilliant. And we have to kind of stop ourselves from going, oh no, that's just Lewis, and going, no, hang on a second, he's been brilliant there. How's that to play with? How is that for you lads? Do you lads find yourself sometimes going, oh Christ, he's a bit good him?
Oh, I think there was one game that stood out. What was it? It was a tight game at home. And we got in after the game and we were all extremely grateful. I remember Tom Lees looking at me and went, thank God for Lewis. I think he just kept on getting the ball and driving with it up the pitch.
Stoke at home.
Yeah, Stoke at home it was, where you just getting hacked down every 5 minutes. And we all
that seems to happen every game, though.
Yeah, that's true. But it's one of them, give him the ball, and we all just sat back and went, "Go on, Lou, you can do it."
I mean, it's nice to hear that off your teammates, but it's also one of them things. I think that's the standards that we all drive within the team. I mean, if I ever let my standards drop in the game, I will be told, and it's the same if Toffs ever lets his standards drop, or anybody in the team. We hold that high of a standard for ourselves as a team now, and each other as individuals, that we don't have the time to let it drop. And when we do, you'll probably see that the next game that the players back to their best.
Yeah, and the manager.
That engine you've got, Lou. Sorry, Toffs. That engine you've got, Lou. Is that something you've had to develop, or is that something you were born with? Have you always been somebody, Duracell bunny, that never gives up? Because you get some treatment as well. You get kicked to absolute bits every game, but it never seems to stop you.
Yeah, I think I've always had a decent engine in my game, and that obviously helps. But I mean, you obviously learn over time to be able to deal with certain scenarios, and you obviously have to play the leagues how they played. I mean, when you move up the leagues, obviously they become more demanding both physically and mentally, and then you've also got the fact that I probably do get kicked more often than not, and more than other players, and you've just got to get used to that and keep bouncing up, because as soon as you show that as a weakness that you're not going to get back up, then it's one of them things that people will do to try and get you out of the game.
On the odd occasions, Lou, where you do...
Not a footballer, you sound like a boxer.
Oh yeah, when I float like a butterfly, thing like
no, too. See how forced that was compared to the cherries one.
The cherries one was better. I've got to admit, but it's fine. Lou, if I ask you on the occasions where you do check back and you are looking for a man, it's often Toffs overlapping for you. How is that for you, knowing that you've got a man on your left and you get on so well off the field, but you work really well on it? Is it good to know you'll always have an outlet there for you when there's occasions where you just can't run past the next man?
Yeah, I mean, I think since Toffs has come in, it's obviously been obvious that we've had a great connection both on and off the field. But on it, I mean, no matter who plays with us on the left side, we've had a great rotation through games, and if one person runs forward, another person fills in for the gap. I mean, the understanding we have on the pitch is great, and sometimes you play the passes without even knowing that the person's there, because you just know that he is going to be making that run, and I think it's a good thing to have. But definitely the relationship off the field helps.
On the relationship off the field, Toffs, this might be something you've been asked before, but you've not been asked it by me, so it doesn't really matter or count. How did you two become mates? Was it something that was instant? Was it, an instant spark and a connection that you two had, or did it take a bit of time in training to develop? How did you two become as close as you are?
I think when, obviously at the time, Danny and Nicky Cowley came to Huddersfield, and I remember I used to watch the games, obviously when they left Lincoln, I used to watch some of the games. And Lou stood out to me in those games, and I thought, you know what? His energy and everything about him was exactly the personality that someone that I would want to spend time with. And I noticed that, and as soon as I got in, he seemed like a really nice guy, comes from a really nice family, and there's like a lot of similarities in our personalities. And I think we just started to click on the pitch. Obviously, Lewis being on the left, and then the cinema dates, the
meals, the candlelit meals,
the music.
I think that all helps.
I think the
theatres,
we won't go into the rest, will we?
Strictly Come Dancing.
Yeah, we did Dirty Dancing. We're glad we don't room together anymore, because literally we choreographed a few Strictly Come Dancing.
I think we saw each other more than we did our misses. Yeah,
I think that was the plan.
And then so single rooms have helped our relationships away from Huddersfield.
Yeah, me and my partner are amazing now since we got single rooms. So.
Is there anyone else outside of you two that you two get on particular well within the squad? Is there any? Do you two get jealous if Lou's out with somebody else, or if Toffs is having a play date with somebody? Do you two have a?
Yeah.
No, I mean everyone
squad,
as a squad is exactly the same now. Obviously, a lot of people know about mine and Toffs' relationship, but it was
they try and get in the way of us, don't they?
Yeah, it was very bad, and obviously at the time it was probably the one thing that you could see within the club that was like blossoming. But now everybody is exactly the same. But obviously we're still kind of the forefront of the headlines for some reason. But yeah, definitely everyone gets along exactly the same.
Well, we're going to get the wedding in OK magazine, aren't we?
Excellent. I know you two have got a meeting, so I'll let you go in a sec. But have you two got any questions for each other before we go?
No. Because it's just going to get awkward.
Yeah, going to get rid. Fans don't want to hear it. It's just going to be horrendous.
Okay, perfect, lads. Thank you very much for your time. Good luck for tomorrow and for Saturday, and thanks for joining us, and thanks ever to Sportsbroker for sponsoring the show.